Every single day, millions of Americans over 60 wake up, follow a familiar routine, and without realizing it, feed cancer cells that may already be inside their body. And here's the chilling part. It's not alcohol, it's not smoking, it's not even junk food. It's one seemingly harmless daily habit. A habit so ordinary that most seniors have done it for decades. Yet new research shows this single behavior can quietly accelerate cancer growth, weaken immunity, and even sabotage life-saving treatments. Today, I'm going to reveal what that habit is, how it fuels cancer, like pouring gasoline on a fire, and, most importantly, the simple science-backed steps you can take today to shut it down before it's too late. But first, let me ask you a question. Have you ever wondered why cancer cases among seniors keep climbing, even though we have more treatments than ever? Why does cancer come back, even after surgery or chemo? The answer often hides in our daily lifestyle habits. Habits we think are safe, until science proves otherwise. Cancer doesn't announce itself with trumpets, it whispers. A bit of fatigue, a digestive issue you brush off, a cough that lingers. By the time many seniors notice, the disease is already feeding, not just from DNA mutations, but from the food, drinks, and routines we give it. And here's the shocking statistic. The American Cancer Society estimates that 40% of cancers could be prevented simply by addressing lifestyle habits. 40%. Imagine slashing nearly half the cases just by changing what we do every day. Now, let me make this personal. I've seen seniors lose not just years, but precious memories with grandchildren, vacations they dreamed of, and even their independence. Not because of some rare genetic defect, but because of a simple, avoidable habit they thought was harmless. That's why today's video matters. Because if you're over 60, the clock is ticking louder. But the good news? It's not too late. You can stop feeding cancer. You can tip the odds back in your favor. And you'll see exactly how in the next few minutes. I'll tell you the name of this one daily cancer-feeding habit soon. But before I do, you need to understand the science of why it's so dangerous. Once you know how it works inside your body, you'll never look at your morning routine the same way again. Cancer is like a burglar. It sneaks into your home, your body, looking for unlocked doors. Those doors are weaknesses: inflammation, poor blood sugar control, sluggish immunity. Now, every cancer cell needs one thing to survive: fuel. And one of the most reliable fuels? Sugar. Not just table sugar, but also the repeated blood sugar spikes from processed foods, reheated carbs, and hidden sugars in packaged meals. But here's the twist. It's not just sugar that feeds cancer. It's the habit of reheating and re-eating leftover starchy foods, like rice, pasta, potatoes, or bread, that seniors often rely on for convenience. Why? Because when these foods are cooled and reheated, they undergo chemical changes that create advanced glycation end products, AGEs. These toxic compounds drive inflammation, damage DNA, and, as multiple NIH studies confirm, act like fertilizer for cancer cells. Think of it like this. Fresh pasta might be safe in moderation, but that reheated pasta from yesterday's fridge? It's stealth poison. The National Cancer Institute published data showing that AGEs trigger oxidative stress and chronic inflammation, the perfect breeding ground for tumor growth. In fact, seniors who consume higher amounts of reheated starches and processed leftovers show significantly higher markers linked to colon, pancreatic, and breast cancers. And here's the kicker. Most seniors reheat leftovers daily, thinking they're being frugal or efficient. But that innocent habit could be quietly feeding cancer year after year. Let me share a real story. Martha, 72, from Ohio, loved saving time by cooking big pots of pasta or rice, then reheating them throughout the week. She thought she was eating healthy. After all, it wasn't fast food. But after a colonoscopy, doctors found precancerous polyps. When her oncologist explained the risk of reheated starches and ages, she was stunned. Martha switched to cooking smaller portions fresh, added more vegetables and green tea to her meals, and within 6 months, her inflammation markers dropped by 30%. Now, was it only the food change? Science says, very likely, yes, because inflammation is reversible. Martha didn't need expensive drugs. She just stopped feeding the burglar at her door. Let's break this down like detectives at a crime scene. 1. You cook a starchy food, rice, pasta, potatoes. 2. You let it cool overnight. 3. You reheat it the next day. Here's the problem. Reheating creates resistant starch and ages. Resistant starch spikes blood sugar unpredictably, confusing insulin signaling. Ages, advanced glycation end products, are basically sticky sugar protein compounds. They attach to tissues, blood vessels, even your DNA. This creates chronic inflammation, stiff arteries, and microenvironments where tumors thrive. A 2020 NIH review concluded that ages are potent accelerators of carcinogenesis. That means they don't just fuel cancer, they help it spread faster. So when seniors say, "I've eaten this way all my life, why worry now?" The answer is simple. Because after 60, your body's repair mechanisms weaken. Your cells are less forgiving. What you could get away with at 30 becomes deadly at 70. So here's the big question. If reheating starchy foods feeds cancer, what can you do instead? How do you enjoy your favorite meals without giving tumors an all-you-can-eat buffet? Stay with me, because I'll give you the practical swaps, the exact foods that starve cancer cells, and even a daily anti-cancer routine that thousands of seniors are already using to protect their health. All right, so now that we've exposed the one hidden daily habit secretly feeding cancer, reheating starchy leftovers, let's talk about the flip side. What can you do instead that not only avoids danger but actually starves cancer cells? Because here's the empowering truth. Cancer isn't just about cutting things out. It's about adding the right foods that strengthen your body's defense systems. Angiogenesis, immunity, microbiome, DNA repair. And research from places like Harvard, Stanford, and the National Cancer Institute is clear. Certain foods actively create an environment where cancer cannot thrive. Let's take the example of rice and pasta, the classic leftovers in every senior's fridge. Instead of reheating yesterday's batch, 1. Cook smaller portions fresh. Yes, it takes 10 extra minutes, but you gain years of health. Science shows freshly cooked starch produces far fewer ages. 2. Upgrade the starch to anti-cancer grains. Quinoa, barley, and oats contain beta-glucans that activate killer immune cells. These don't spike blood sugar the same way reheated rice does. 3. Pair starches with polyphenol-rich foods. Add broccoli, spinach, garlic, or turmeric when cooking. Polyphenols neutralize the inflammation reheated starches cause. 4. Swap reheated carbs for fresh greens. A salad of arugula, kale, or mixed leafy greens floods your body with antioxidants. These compounds fight oxidative stress at the cellular level, where cancer begins. A study from Harvard Medical School showed that people who consumed cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, kale, Brussels sprouts, at least 5 times a week had a 32% lower risk of developing colorectal cancer. Why? Because these vegetables release sulforaphane, a molecule that literally switches on tumor-suppressing genes. Now think about that. While reheating pasta can switch on cancer growth, eating broccoli can switch it off. That's how powerful daily food choices are. Take George, age 68, from Florida. A retired postal worker, George had been reheating potatoes for lunch every day. After a warning from his oncologist, he swapped those for fresh quinoa salads with olive oil and greens. Within 90 days, his A1C, a measure of blood sugar, dropped from 6.4 to 5.7, out of the pre-diabetic range. His CRP, inflammation marker, dropped 40%. And his energy? Through the roof. George didn't take a miracle drug. He just changed his daily fuel. Now let me give you what I call the senior's anti-cancer daily prescription. This is a simple blueprint you can follow every single day. It doesn't require exotic supplements or expensive superfoods. Just smart, proven choices. Morning. Starve cancer before breakfast. Green tea, skip the orange juice. Instead, brew 1 cup of green tea. It's rich in EGCG, a polyphenol proven to cut off blood supply to tumors. Fresh protein, plus fiber. Have oatmeal with flaxseed, walnuts, and berries. These stabilize blood sugar and reduce DNA damage. Sunlight. Step outside for 15 minutes of morning light. Vitamin D deficiency doubles the risk of certain cancers, especially colon and breast. Midday, power your immune system. Lunch plate rule, 50-25-25. 50% vegetables, broccoli, spinach, carrots. 25% lean protein, chicken, beans, fish, or tofu. 25% whole grain, quinoa, barley, oats. Olive oil, dress with extra virgin olive oil. It contains oleocanthal, a compound that pokes holes in cancer cell membranes without harming healthy cells. Afternoon, anti-cancer snack. Handful of nuts. Almonds or walnuts reduce colon cancer risk by 25%, NIH study. Green tea 2 or herbal tea keeps inflammation low. Evening, starving the nighttime cancer cycle. Dinner, baked salmon, rich in omega-3, fights inflammation. Steamed broccoli or Brussels sprouts, small serving of quinoa. Golden milk, warm turmeric. Plus black pepper and milk. Curcumin suppresses tumor-promoting pathways. No late-night leftovers. Instead, have chamomile tea for better sleep. Poor sleep weakens immune surveillance against cancer cells. Now, I know you're wondering, what about coffee? Or that nightly glass of wine doctors used to say was good for the heart? Here's where things get controversial. Because one of the most common drinks seniors consume daily may actually undo all the cancer-fighting progress you make with your food. I'll reveal which drink and why in the next section. Trust me, this is one you cannot afford to miss. You've just learned how reheated starches quietly feed cancer. But what about what you drink every day? Most seniors believe their beverage habits are safe. Some even think they're healthy. But here's the uncomfortable truth. 1 or 2 of the most common daily drinks are actually among cancer's favorite fuels. Let's start with alcohol. For years you were told, a glass of red wine is good for the heart. But new research paints a darker picture. The World Health Organization now states bluntly, no level of alcohol consumption is safe for cancer prevention. None. Even small daily amounts raise the risk of breast, colon, liver, and throat cancers. Why? Alcohol metabolizes into acetaldehyde, a toxic chemical that damages DNA and interferes with your body's natural repair systems. It's like disabling your home alarm system and leaving the front door wide open for cancer cells to walk right in. So that nightly glass of wine? It's not protecting you, it's poisoning you. And after 60, your body processes alcohol even less efficiently, making the damage faster and more severe. Now here's where it gets interesting. Coffee has long been controversial. Some studies say it raises risk, others say it lowers it. The truth is more nuanced. Freshly brewed black coffee, without sugar, creamers, or syrups, contains chlorogenic acid and polyphenols that actually protect DNA and reduce liver and endometrial cancer risk. But here's the trap. Most seniors don't drink plain black coffee. They add sugar, flavored creamers, or reheat the pot throughout the day. And reheated coffee develops acrylamide, a carcinogenic compound. So coffee can either be your ally or your enemy, depending on how you drink it. And this brings me to the biggest drink culprit of all: soda and sweetened beverages. Soda is liquid sugar. Each can delivers 8 to 10 teaspoons of sugar directly into your bloodstream. That spike feeds insulin, feeds inflammation, and, you guessed it, feeds cancer cells. But there's another hidden danger: artificial sweeteners. Many seniors think they're being smart by switching to diet soda. But studies from the National Cancer Institute show that certain sweeteners, like aspartame, are linked to higher risks of liver and pancreatic cancers. So whether it's regular soda or diet soda, you're still fueling the fire. And here's the emotional reality. I once spoke with a patient who said, "Doctor, I only drank 1 can a day for 30 years. I never thought something so small could do this." But over decades, that habit compounds. Cancer doesn't grow overnight. It grows from tiny daily deposits: the soda, the reheated pasta, the nightly glass of wine, until one day, the debt comes due. Now, let's go deeper into the science, because once you understand how cancer feeds itself, you'll see how powerful your daily choices really are. Cancer grows by hijacking angiogenesis, the process by which your body builds new blood vessels. Normally, angiogenesis helps heal wounds and grow tissues. But cancer flips the switch, forcing your body to build extra blood vessels that act like feeding tubes, delivering sugar, fat, and oxygen directly to the tumor. Here's the critical part: certain foods shut down those feeding tubes. Green tea, EGCG, starves tumors by cutting off blood supply. Soy isoflavones slow down blood vessel growth in hormone-related cancers. Tomatoes, lycopene, block angiogenesis in prostate cancer. This isn't alternative medicine. This is peer-reviewed science, confirmed in journals like Nature and Cancer Research. And it means that every time you choose a cup of green tea over soda, you're literally pulling the plug on cancer's feeding line. Let me share 3 quick stories. Ellen, 76, breast cancer survivor. She replaced nightly wine with chamomile tea. Within 3 months, her liver enzymes normalized, and her oncologist said her recovery was ahead of schedule. James, 82. He thought fatigue was just old age. Turns out he was drinking 2 diet sodas daily. He cut them out, replaced them with green tea and lemon water, and said, "I feel 10 years younger." His inflammation markers plummeted. Robert, 70, retired teacher. He switched from reheated pasta lunches and soda to fresh veggie bowls with olive oil. After 6 months, his CRP, a cancer-linked inflammation marker, dropped by 40%. These aren't miracles. They're biology. Cancer doesn't just grow because of angiogenesis. It also thrives when your immune system is weak and your microbiome, the trillions of bacteria in your gut, is unbalanced. After 60, immunity naturally declines. But certain habits speed it up. Too much sugar, reheated starches, alcohol, poor sleep. Here's the hopeful side. Your microbiome can regenerate in just days. Fermented foods like yogurt, kefir, and kimchi feed good bacteria that fight cancer. Fiber-rich foods, beans, oats, vegetables, keep blood sugar stable and immune cells active. Polyphenols from berries and green tea directly strengthen immune surveillance, the process where your body detects and kills cancer cells before they multiply. And when seniors combine these habits, something remarkable happens. Their bodies stop feeding cancer and start fighting it. So far, we've looked at food and drinks. But there's another hidden daily habit that fuels cancer, and it has nothing to do with your plate or your cup. It's something millions of seniors do every night without even realizing the damage it causes. In fact, it's so common that doctors often overlook it. In the next section, I'll reveal what it is and give you the step-by-step routine that can protect your body every single day. All right, we've talked about food and drinks, but now let's shine a light on the final daily habit secretly fueling cancer in seniors. And here's the twist. It doesn't happen in your kitchen. It happens in your bedroom. The habit is poor sleep hygiene and circadian disruption. Every night, your body runs repair programs. Damaged DNA is fixed. Immune cells patrol for rogue cancer cells and destroy them. Hormones reset. But when you shortchange your sleep, or sleep at the wrong times, those programs fail. Research from the National Cancer Institute shows that seniors who get fewer than 6 hours of sleep regularly have a 30% higher risk of developing cancer. And it's not just about hours. If you're falling asleep at midnight one night, 2 a.m. the next, then 10 p.m. another, your circadian rhythm gets scrambled. Think of it like rebooting a computer mid-update. The system gets corrupted. For your body, that corruption is cancer risk. Here's what most people don't realize. Melatonin isn't just a sleep hormone. It's a powerful natural cancer fighter. It slows tumor growth. It enhances immune surveillance. It neutralizes free radicals. But melatonin only rises when you sleep in the dark at consistent hours. If you're up late scrolling on your phone, or you sleep with the TV glowing, you're lowering your melatonin and giving cancer cells an open runway. Linda, 74, told me she thought staying up until 1 a.m. watching late-night shows was harmless. But after a breast cancer diagnosis, her doctor explained the melatonin connection. Linda committed to a 10 p.m. bedtime, blackout curtains, and chamomile tea before bed. 6 months later, her fatigue was gone, and her oncologist said her immune labs were dramatically improved. Small lifestyle change, massive impact. Now let's put this all together into a single daily routine, simple, doable, and powerful. Think of this as your senior anti-cancer blueprint. Morning. Wake at the same time daily. Circadian rhythm consistency boosts immunity. Step into sunlight for 15 minutes. Jumpstarts vitamin D and melatonin cycle. Breakfast. Oatmeal with flaxseed, walnuts, blueberries. Pair with green tea, midday. Lunch. Rule 50-25-25. 50% veggies, 25% lean protein, 25% whole grain. Add extra virgin olive oil for anti-inflammatory protection. Hydrate with lemon water or herbal tea. Skip soda and juice. Afternoon. Snack, a handful of almonds or walnuts. Movement break, 15-minute walk outdoors. Exercise enhances immune surveillance. Evening. Dinner, salmon or beans, plus steamed cruciferous vegetables, plus quinoa. Golden milk, turmeric, plus black pepper, plus warm milk. No reheated leftovers. Cook fresh or make a light salad. Night. Lights dim at 9:30 p.m. No screens. Bedtime by 10 p.m. in a dark room. Optional, chamomile tea to signal sleep. 7 to 8 hours of deep, consistent sleep. This routine isn't extreme. It doesn't require pills, expensive powders, or exotic imports. It's grounded in the best science we have. And if followed consistently, it turns your body into a cancer-resistant fortress. Here's what I want you to remember. Cancer isn't fed by one catastrophic event. It's fed by small daily habits, the reheated pasta, the nightly glass of wine, the late-night TV. But here's the power you hold. The same way small habits feed cancer, small habits can starve it. Every cup of green tea pulls fuel away. Every plate of broccoli flips tumor-suppressing genes on. Every night of deep sleep turns melatonin into a cancer-fighting ally. I've seen seniors in their 60s, 70s, even 80s reverse dangerous inflammation, lower their blood sugar, and rebuild their energy. Not with drugs, but with daily choices. The science is clear. 40% of cancers could be prevented with lifestyle changes. That's not a statistic. That's your life. That's more years with your grandchildren. More mornings waking up without fear. More time to do what you love. The question is, will you keep feeding cancer with old habits? Or will you start starving it today?